Will you read me another of your stories, Grandad?
Yes, that's a good idea, Matthew. Always a good idea when I can't think of anything else to do. But most of my stories are really exercises that were set during a writing class, and the only one that I can find that is short enough was rather a difficult exercise, something you might like to try yourself if you wish, and it was to write a story with 26 sentences, each starting with a letter of the alphabet from A to Z. And one sentence must be at least 100 words and one sentence a fragment. So if you're sitting comfortably, hope I can get my tongue round the words in the storytelling, I will begin. Angela lay listening to the sound of the rain beating against the window. Branches of the apple tree rapped on the pane with every gust of wind. Continuous noise had denied her a restful night. Downstairs the dog whined. Even if she were able to get out of bed unaided to bring him to her room, she knew that he wouldn't settle. He seemed to regard the wind as an enemy that he should attack, and would only be worse if he were with her, and would try to defend her against the invisible intruder. Dogs should know their place and obey the rules of the house like everyone else, her father had taught her. They need affection and reward for their good behaviour, but they'll be happier when they have a leader who shows authority and applies the rules with firmness. Allow them their own territory where they will feel safe, but deny them access to those places you don't wish them to go, since that is your territory. And it was his opinion that the bedroom was one such place. Frequently she'd been tempted to break the rules. She'd longed sometimes to have some living creature with her through the long wakeful nights. Gingerly she took hold of the lifeless left arm with her right hand and pulled it across her chest. Humping her hip and bottom while pulling the arm for leverage, she managed to turn herself onto her right side to ease the soreness. In a little while, when she'd rested and recovered from the effort, she would try to reach her left leg, which has now been pulled into a grotesque position like a rag doll. Judging where to grasp the leg was difficult. Only the shape of the wasted muscles guided her, since there was no feeling in the useless limb. Knowing that Zara would soon be with her to get her out of bed, help her with her ablutions, and bring a breath of life by relating news of the world outside, eased her frustrations a little. Lately she'd been more prone to tears and self-pity, which annoyed her but was something, no matter how logically she rationalised her situation, she didn't seem able to control. Moving, now that she was on her right side, was easier, and she was able to reach out and switch the radio on. "Now we bring you a flood warning," the newsreader proclaimed. Often she lay listening to the news thinking, what the hell does it matter to me? I'm sorry for all the troubles in the world, but I can't do anything about it, and I've got troubles of my own. But her attention was seriously engaged when she heard, "The river has burst its bank at Nettlesham. All roads are impassable into the village from the south side." Looks as though this time the news had brought disaster nearer to home, she thought. And then the alarming realisation of her own predicament. If Zara couldn't get through. Panic set her heart racing. She must think. She must stay calm and plan how she would get to the stair lift that would take her downstairs, where she might be able to raise help. Propping herself up on the headboard for support, She twisted, pulled her dead leg close to her right, and allowed herself to slip with a thump to the floor, grateful that she had landed in reach of her crutch, which she was able to drag towards her with her foot and pick up. Quite unexpectedly, she laughed, whether through fear or frustration she didn't know. But with her nightdress now around her waist and her long red bed socks dragged down around her toes, she had a vision of how a viewer might see her. Realizing the seriousness of her situation had a sobering effect. She planned that she could shuffle on her bottom to the bedroom door, then, by leaning against the wall for support, could open it with the use of her crutch. The progress was slow and exhausting. Each forward thrust, aided by lifting her weight with her good arm, required her to drag the left arm and left leg into a new position. Unable to make much progress frustrated her, and the previous laughter gave way to tears. "This is no good," she told herself. "You're nearly there. Come on, don't be such a wimp." Very near the stair lift, she did momentarily give up, but only to consider the situation and how she was going to raise herself enough to be able to sit on it. While she was debating her course of action, Ben bounded up the stairs excitedly, bounced up and down and licked her face. "Here's a fine mess we've got ourselves into, Ben. Now, go away. Play with your ball or something." And that was the last that she remembered until she recovered consciousness in hospital, unaware that Zara had found an alternative route around the floods, discovered her at the foot of the stairs and summoned an ambulance. X-rays had not revealed any broken bones, but the expression on the face of the doctor instilled in her a feeling of foreboding. "You've been very lucky this time. If Miss Phillips hadn't found you, it may have had a very different outcome. We'll keep you in overnight, but it really does require that we consider the question of your living alone. It would be far more sensible for you to go into a nursing home." Angela looked at Sarah, and her hand tightened on hers. "Zara, please."